Hey, everybody, welcome back to my weekly podcast. It kind of is a podcast. Hey, everybody, welcome back to my weekly podcast vlog called Making Waves. I'm Kevin Bartelt. If you never heard of me, and I'm going to guess you all have. That's right, not most of you, every single one of you. If you're watching this for the first time and you have no idea who I am, comment and say, hey, have no idea who you are. Don't. That's it. Just comment that. This is Making Waves. I talk basically every week about the behind the scenes of all of the podcasts I work on. This is a big year for me, 2025, and I'm very excited. A lot going on, some new shows in the works, and some big announcements today. So let's jump into it. All right, so where do we want to go first? There's two big announcements today. The first, after 4 more years, I have finally gotten Patreon to make multiple RSS feeds for the individual shows on our Patreon. I will explain what that means if you're not familiar, but you ever cut your fingernails and go, damn, I fucking rocked it this week. I don't cut my fingernails every week, but I did it yesterday. Okay, come on. So the multiple RSS feeds is a thing that has been requested since, and I can tell you the exact day, January 1st, 2021. Maybe January 2nd, but I started seeing the request for these. I know it's that day specifically because that is when we officially moved several shows over to the Hollywood Handbook Patreon. At the time, it was just called the Flagrant Ones Patreon. And we did this big announcement. It was very exciting, a huge growth that week. I'm honestly like 4-week period. And then the big request was, hey, you have like 4 different shows on here. It would be great to have an individual feed for all of these shows, so it's not all in one combined feed. So I emailed our contact at Patreon, and they said, we don't have that capability, but thank you for the feedback, and we will pass it along. And that was really all I was able to say. And it was by far the biggest complaint / request that we had on the Patreon was people did not want the pro version, the Flagrant Ones, Hollywood Handbook, 2 episodes of Carl Calls His Cousin, all in one feed. They want one feed for the pro version, one feed for Carl Calls His Cousin, one for the Flagrant Ones, etc. And that just wasn't a feature that Patreon was able to do. So maybe a year later, the closest workaround we could get is there was this guy who made a website called siftrss.com, I believe. And basically what you could do was put your Patreon feed into this website and you could create like a filter. So because I labeled every single one of these episodes, pro, short for the pro version, episode number 200, and then the title, you could put your RSS feed into this website and then have it, for your label, it be called pro. And then what it would do is spit out a new feed for you with everything that in the episode title starts with pro. So people were basically able to create their own, what we called like filtered feeds from this website. And I described this basically as like a Band-Aid. It did not solve the issue, but it allowed people to have their own feeds. It just required people, and you had to be, unfortunately, a little tech savvy to know how to do this. And I put instructions and stuff, and it was a temporary fix for years. And I think over time, more and more people started to request the multiple feeds because essentially we were running a mini network and are running a mini network within our Patreon. Most Patreons have, it's a bonus feed, right? Like they have their main show for free and they have bonus episodes, typically a weekly bonus episode. on Patreon. $5 a month, you get that. Maybe you get video with like a higher tier. I would say that's how most podcast Patreons function. Ours was essentially multiple shows kind of all in this but what we called like a bundle tier. And I really like it, and I think it's a great deal and a great value. But like I said, the recurring issue, comments after comments after comments of, God, I wish, people saying, I'm canceling my subscription because this is annoying to me. I don't want all my shows in one feed. There are shows on here I'm never going to listen to. I don't like having to skip through it. And it's annoying. I don't like it on one feed. Some people do. But if you want to listen to like the first episode of Reality Show from 13 or 14 years ago, you literally have to scroll through 1,700 episodes to find it. It's absolutely insane. So, 6-ish months ago, I got some updates from our contact at Patreon saying, hey, good news. We're slowly in the works with the multiple feeds. And so I was in several meetings with Patreon over the last 6 months or so, maybe more, giving feedback about why I need it, why our fans have requested it, and why I think it will help our Patreon. And so we did a lot of like feedback sessions of like, how does this look to you? What would you change? What do you like? What do you dislike? Et cetera, et cetera. And it got closer and closer and closer. And then the issue that was a creepy laugh. Oh gosh, sorry. The issue that I noticed, that I feared what would happen, and I was correct here, and Hayes called this out too, to his credit, is understandably, after 4 years of this, people got just very comfortable having one feed with all of their shows. I don't know the exact numbers, but I would guess more than half of our subscribers just use this feed. They're like, whatever, I would prefer other ones, but this is what I have now. So one of the discussions as we got closer to launching it, Patreon said, okay, and then basically when you make this announcement, you'll have to tell everyone there's going to be a separate feed for each show going forward. And then I asked like, oh, what about the one feed with everything? And they're like, well, that's going to be a Just Hollywood Handbook now. And then if they want the other shows, they have to get the other feeds. And I was like, see, my concern is now we're asking people to do stuff, and people don't want to do stuff. They want to have, I'm not saying this as an insult either. It's just like, I didn't want to have to present the fans of a good news, bad news of, hey, we now have separate feeds. However, you now have to use them in order to keep listening to the shows you like. And so I said, is there a way that we can keep this combined feed with everything and say, in addition to the combined feed with everything, there is also now separate feeds for each show. So rather than like an either or, you can decide. It's now like an added option for you, versus like just telling people you now have to do individual feeds. And they were like, Patreon were like, okay, that's going to take a little more work. It's going to, 6 more weeks. And then a couple weeks ago, they were like, okay, we're all set. We got it now. We can do the combined feed. One thing that I was pushing really hard is that I wanted us to get off of Acast, which is a publishing website where all of our episodes were. I had so many tech issues. The fans had so many tech issues with it. So we migrated that feed off of Acast onto Patreon. Then after that, we essentially had the 1,700 episodes in like a draft folder. And then as we were organizing it, because there were also like, there was the draft folder, but then there was also like the actual library folder. And as I'm organizing it, I start to see Reddit posts from people saying, hey, where are all my episodes? Like I 300 episodes just disappeared and 50 just popped back up. And I was like, God damn it. it's now happening. And so I called Kate, who I work with, and said, I need your help today. And it's going to be a lot of the day. Same with Zach, who's editing this video right now. So Zach and Kate and I teamed up last week and essentially spent all day organizing these 1,700 episodes so that they were moving to the appropriate feed, because it was a little random and they just needed to be, the organizing wasn't going as seamless as it was like, all right, let's just move these over here, those over there. There was a lot of manual moving stuff around that took, like I said, 10 plus hours. It was very stressful because as we are doing it, episodes are disappearing and reappearing in people's feeds. And so I am both trying to organize it, have meetings with Patreon that same day, and doing like customer support of explaining to people, hey, this is what's going on. You know, we're making these feeds. Just give us a couple hours. Sorry about this, but it'll all be fixed and there will be some cool stuff coming out soon. So that day was one of my most stressful work days in a minute for sure. And I don't know, to be completely honest, even though I am so thrilled and excited that the biggest complaint we have had for 4 years is now finally fixed, that couple hours of people complaining, and rightfully so, I should say, they're paying for stuff and a bunch of episodes disappeared and were reappearing. It was confusing. Most of the people were just like asking. They weren't like, I don't know, man, that's not true. Some people were being, you know who you are. But I don't want to say it like stifled the launch a little bit. No, but I will say that. So there were dozens of comments of people saying like, hey, what happened? And where are my episodes and stuff? And so trying to figure that out, then frantically trying to fix these issues. And you know what? At the end of the day, literally that night, everything was fixed. And then so that night, I believe I did a big post that was like, hey, everyone, thanks for your patience as we were organizing this, but exciting news. You now have the option, emphasis on option, to add an individual RSS feed for each of the individual shows. And I added a screenshot that showed like each individual show now. And it was like, here's how you do it. What was cool then is there were dozens and dozens and dozens of comments, people saying like, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. Thank you so much. And so that was like a huge exhale for me of like, okay, the stress is now done. Like that kind of crazy day is now over. And now people are enjoying this and like a couple questions and answering some stuff, but it's done. So this was such a huge thing for me because like I said, when I quit Earwolf at the end of 2020, essentially my first day as a freelancer, as an independent podcast producer, we did this, huge announcement. Here's all of these episodes that, here's all these shows that are now all in this single place. The overwhelming critique was we want separate feeds. And so now, 4 years later, being able to say, okay, it is now done. It feels so satisfying to be able to cross that off a to-do list that has been on there for that long. I'm repeating myself. I apologize, but it was an incredible feeling. Just knowing that is now done is really, really cool. And there's, we're seeing it on the analytics side too. There's now more people subscribing, a ton of people upgrading to the bundle tier. And this is what I was talking about, with my goal to hit 42K by the end of June, July 1st. stuff like this is what helps move the needle. We're now, as of today, as of this recording, 38,400. We haven't been at 38,400 in over 6 months. That feels incredible. And we haven't even launched other shows as well that I think are going to get us past 40K and close to 42K. So very, very excited about that. A kind of stressful launch, but not super surprising. And so if you're subscribed to the bundle and if you're interested in checking that out, if you haven't, I highly recommend it. And yeah, let me know what you think. So that was one huge announcement. And Zach and I have to strategically release this vlog after another announcement that I think should be coming out as of when I'm going to try to time these releases so they happen essentially simultaneously. But one of the shows that I have been working on, codename Extra, has officially been announced. Woohoo! I am so freaking excited, guys. This is Extra. Codename Extra is The Extraordinarians. It is hosted by Tony Hale, Kristen Schaal, and Matt Oberg, three extremely funny, nice, talented people. And basically what the show is these three friends interview world record breakers. And so we have had on someone who tightrope walked across 2 hot air balloons, someone who broke the world record for most amount of flips on a trampoline, and someone who has the world record for 600 barbecue skewers in their beard. And it's so fun and different than any show I've worked on. It's just, the people they're interviewing are super unique. It's not like comedians interviewing comedians about comedy, like a very, formulaic thing that you see in so many like comedy podcasts these days. They're just interviewing people in like Germany, London, for Indiana, like all over the world. And so, the big three. And it's, so we've done 4 big recordings and it's been really exciting. So the trailer launches today. Zach's going to put a link for it. So make sure to subscribe to that rather on your podcast app, or if you're watching this on YouTube, you are watching this on YouTube. There's going to be video on YouTube as well. So we'll put a link for that so you can subscribe there as well. And I'm really excited about it. So this show launches next week, basically, on April 23rd. So the trailer's out now. And I'm really excited, guys. I've been using the codename Extra for the last 4 or 5 months. And so now that is The Extraordinarians with Tony, Kristen, and Matt. And we'll be chatting more about it as the episodes come out. The main thing that I've been focusing on, and I talked about this the last 2 vlogs, is getting the 3 of them on as many podcasts as I possibly can. And I've got them all booked on a bunch of big ones, and I'm really excited about that. Now that that is done, I need to focus on editing the show. So after I record this vlog, I'm going to edit the pilot. The video editor is going to work on the video version. And so that's kind of where I'm at with that right now. Oh, one fun thing we're doing with the show, to tease something a little bit, is Tony, Kristen, and Matt are, we're doing this kind of fun thing where people are calling in, leaving a quick little voice memo, nominating someone in their life for world's best or world's worst, whatever. And then we call that person. I figure, I coordinate with you via email, and we nominate that person and say, hey, we just want to let you know your roommate, Jackie, has nominated you for world's worst scrambled eggs. So we just wanted to let you know, sorry, but you had a good run and we want to give you an award. So if you would like to nominate someone in your life for world's best something or world's worst something, you can email worldsgreatestpod@gmail.com. You'll basically coordinate it with me, and then, yeah, they'll call them on an episode and give them an award. So we've done a few already, and that's going to be a recurring part of the show as well. I think that's all of the big things with Extraordinarians. Very excited to finally be able to announce it. And yeah, the episodes will be coming out on Wednesdays starting next week. What else? I mean, those are kind of the two big things. I think the thing I really need to focus on right now is I just have so many like unanswered work emails and questions that I'm frankly kind of stressing about. My wife and I were traveling a lot the last couple of weeks. And so work was just a little bit. I mean, I was traveling, and so wasn't able to like respond to a bunch of stuff, and just a lot of things, a lot of tasks piled up. And so really going to be like, buckled down and locked in for the next few days for sure, just trying to catch up on everything. And so I'm a little stressed and nervous about that, to be honest with you. And I'm going to try to do a better job of the people who are working with me, just feeling more comfortable asking them for help, essentially. And I think just that's a thing that I sometimes like struggle with. And I feel pretty strongly that I need help right now. And so I am, working with 3 essentially part-time people right now. And one of my goals is essentially tomorrow, reach out to all 3 of those people and say, hey, I think I got too much on my plate right now. Can this person help me with these 2 things, this with these 2, and this with these 2? And taking off 6 collective things on my to-do list, I think will be a significant help for me. So that's the thing I really want to focus on. I am working on so many shows right now, and I'm doing a meeting about another show tomorrow, which is wild. But I can do it if I'm, because I work with extremely talented, hardworking people. I just need to do a good job of asking those people to help me out. And so, that's kind of what I'm going to be thinking about tonight a little bit when I'm done catching up on some stuff is, who do I want to help me with stuff? Yeah, so that's everything for this week. I'm very excited about those 2 big announcements, and I'm sure we'll have some more in the next few weeks as well. So stay tuned for next week when we probably talk about the first episode of The Extraordinarians. So thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you soon.